Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something, well, really basic, but super important.
hmm
We're going into the core ideas of health and fitness, but through the lens of military training.
Right, the doctrine they use.
Yeah?
And it's not about becoming a soldier.
No, not at all.
It's more about getting, well-informed, understanding the fundamentals of physical readiness, overall well-being, stuff that works for anyone.
Exactly. Think of it like getting a concentrated shot of what it really means to be ready physically
Mm.
for, life.
Yeah, and what's interesting is how structured it is. These military guidelines, they give a really thorough way to understand how our bodies work and how to optimize them.
Which is great because, let's be honest, there's just so much fitness advice out there. It's overwhelming.
But total fire hose, yeah.
So we're trying to cut through that noise, go back to principles that are, tried and tested, the real foundations.
Whether you're aiming for peak performance or just want more energy day to day.
Right. So our mission today is to pull out the key insights from these military guidelines, see how they might help you think about your own health and fitness.
Okay, let's dive in. First things first. Why? Why is being fit actually so important?
Good question.
Well, the source material kicks off with a pretty powerful quote from Winston Churchill.
Oh, yeah.
He said, "To every man there comes in his lifetime that special moment when he is figuratively tapped on the shoulder and asked to do a very special thing,
Yeah.
unique to him and his talents.
Okay.
What a tragedy if that moment finds him unprepared or unqualified for that work."
Wow. That really hits home. It's not just about some huge dramatic moment, is it?
Not necessarily. It's also about just being ready for everyday stuff. The demands, the unexpected things life throws at us.
So fitness isn't just looking good, it's about having the capacity, the baseline readiness to handle things.
Precisely. And they share this great story from an ILT, Elio Pimentel. He was a platoon leader. And he talks about how his own fitness directly impacted his unit. Their morale, their combat readiness, it was tangible.
How so?
Well, he mentions his soldiers seeing him push himself, keeping up with him on runs, on road marches. And that earned him respect right away.
That leadership angle is fascinating. Leading by example, literally running alongside them.
Yeah, being able to run or road march to the end with them, as he put it, it shows you're in it together.
Definitely.
And he connects this to the really tough conditions, like in Afghanistan. Think about it. Less sleep, changing rest patterns, crazy heat, carrying heavy gear, maybe not great nutrition always.
Yeah, intense.
Having that base level of fitness is what lets soldiers cope, function effectively under that kind of extreme stress.
And while most of us aren't facing that, we all have our own stressors, right? Pressure, deadlines, maybe lack of sleep.
Totally relatable.
So the core idea seems to be that fitness builds resilience, a reserve tank, physically and mentally, to handle life's bumps.
Exactly. So, okay, we get the why. Now, what about the what? What are the actual building blocks of fitness, according to these guidelines?
Right, the components. The source breaks it down into 5 main things.
Yep. First is cardiorespiratory endurance. Think of it like your body's engine efficiency. Delivering oxygen and nutrients, clearing out waste.
Okay, cardio. Got it.
Second, muscular strength. That's the max force your muscles can exert in one go, like a heavy lift.
One big effort.
Then muscular endurance. That's the opposite, kinda. Being able to repeat movements over time, like doing lots of push-ups.
Makes sense. What else?
Fourth is flexibility. Simple of your range of motion around your joints.
And the 5th?
Body composition. Basically, the ratio of body fat to everything else, muscle, bone, water. Your total mass.
And these aren't totally separate things, right? They connect.
Absolutely. The source points out that boosting your cardio, your strength, your endurance, those first 3 often helps improve body composition. You tend to reduce body fat.
And having too much body fat can drag down performance in the other areas.
Yeah, definitely. And it affects health risks, too. The Army even has, specific body fat standards
Yeah.
based on age and gender.
Okay, so those are the core 5, but they also talk about something called motor fitness.
Right. Motor fitness covers things like speed, agility, how quickly you can change direct muscle power, which is like explosive strength, and coordination.
Ah, some more skill-based stuff.
Kind of. Skills that really impact how well you perform actual physical tasks, especially ones needing quick moves. And the good news is, training can improve these things. Up to your potential, anyway.
So the military goal is to improve both, says the basic physical fitness and the motor skills through training that's progressive and mission-focused.
Exactly. Which leads us nicely into how you actually improve these things. The principles of exercise.
Okay, the practical side.
Yeah, and they have this handy mnemonic device, makes it easier to remember, PROVRBS.
Proverbs, okay. PROVRBS. Let's break that down.
P. P stands for progression. It means you need to gradually increase the demands. Don't just do the same thing forever.
Right, step it up over time.
Exactly. More weight, more distance, longer workouts. They even mention a rough guideline, maybe like a 10% increase periodically. Slowly raise the bar.
Okay, gradual increase. Makes sense.
R is for regularity. You got to
Yeah.
be consistent.
Showing up.
Showing up. For those first four components, cardio, strength, endurance, flexibility, they suggest at least 3 times a week. But it's also about regular rest, sleep, good diet. It's the whole picture.
Right, consistency across the board. Okay, OGO, overload. Sounds intense.
It just means you need to work harder than what your body is used to trigger improvement. It's the idea behind, no pain, no gain.
But good pain, not injury pain.
Crucial distinction, yes. The source stresses that. Knowing the difference between muscle soreness from a good workout and actual injury pain, maybe getting guidance from someone experienced.
Important safety tip there. Okay, V.
V is for variety. Mix things up, change your activities.
Keeps it from getting boring.
That's a big part of it. Prevents boredom, boosts motivation. Plus, it challenges your body in different ways, makes you more well-rounded.
Good point. Okay, second R.
Recovery. Super important. After a tough workout targeting one area, your body needs time to repair and rebuild.
So easier days or rest days.
Exactly. Or maybe focusing on different muscle groups on different days, especially for strength training. Give those muscles a break.
Okay, B.
B is for balance. Don't just focus on one thing. A good program hits all the fitness components.
Avoid neglecting areas.
Yeah, or you create imbalances, which can limit you or even lead to injury.
Makes sense. And finally, S.
Specificity. Your training should match your goals.
Like, if you want to run better, you need to run.
Pretty much. Running drills help running. Swimming is great exercise, but it won't improve your 2-mile run time like actually running will. Train for what you want to achieve. Push-ups make you better at push-ups.
Okay, PROVRBS. Got it. That's the philosophy. Now, they also mention a framework called FITT.
Right, FITT. Another acronym, very practical for actually designing a workout program. FITT.
Okay, what does FITT stand for? Let's start with F.
F is frequency. How often you exercise.
And are there guidelines?
Yeah, general ones. They suggest maybe 3 to 5 cardio sessions a week, 2 to 3 strength sessions, maybe 2 to 5 calisthenics, and 3 to 6 flexibility workouts weekly.
So quite a bit of flexibility work recommended.
Yeah, it's important. But these are starting points.
Yeah.
You adjust based on your own needs and goals.
I is for intensity, how hard we work.
Exactly. They mention RPE rating of perceived exertion. It's a scale like 6 to 20, how hard it feels. Aim for maybe 12 to 16, somewhat hard to hard.
Subjective, though.
It is. So they also talk heart rate, a more objective measure.
Right, target heart rate. How do we figure that out?
Well, you estimate your max heart rate roughly 220 minus your age.
Okay.
And your target zone is usually between 60% and 85% of that max. So lowest target is max heart rate times 0.60. Highest is max heart rate times 0.85.
So you calculate that range and try to stay in it during cardio.
Yeah, that's the idea, especially when starting. Aim for the lower end. And again, they stress, don't hammer the same muscles hard 2 days in a row. Recovery.
Got it. Frequency, intensity. T is for time, how long?
Right. For cardio, aim for at least 20 to 30 minutes of continuous exercise in that target intensity zone.
Okay, 20 to 30 minutes. And for strength.
It's more about reps and sets. Maybe 8 to 12 reps where the last one feels tough, like muscle fatigue.
Yeah.
Then work up to 2 or 3 sets.
And flexibility.
Shorter holds, maybe 10-15 seconds for warm-ups. Longer holds, 30 to 60 seconds for cool-downs or specific flexibility sessions. At least once a week for those longer holds.
Okay. And the last T. Type.
Type of exercise. This loops back to specificity.
Train for your goal.
Exactly. Want better cardio?
Yeah.
Do cardio exercise, running, biking, swimming. Want to get better at push-ups? Do push-ups. Cross-training is good, but for a specific goal, direct practice is usually best.
Okay, FITT provides a really clear structure. Frequency, intensity, time, type. Very useful. But what about staying safe? Injuries happen.
Crucial point. Safety first. The source definitely emphasizes checking with a doctor before starting something new, especially if you have health issues, and listen to your body, stay within your limits.
And if something does tweak,
They introduce another acronym for minor injury care. PRICE.
price. Okay, what's this one?
P is protect. Stop further injury. Maybe use a brace or bandage. R is rest. keep the injured part inactive.
Makes sense. Ice.
Apply crushed ice in a towel 5 to 15 minutes at a time. Not heat initially. Ice helps with that first inflammation.
Okay.
Compression. Gentle wrap with an elastic bandage, maybe around the ice pack, not too tight, don't cut off circulation. Helps control swelling.
And ease.
Elevation. Raise the injured part above your heart level if possible. Also helps reduce swelling.
Protect, rest, ice, compression, elevation. Good basic first aid.
Yeah, and they mentioned talking to a doctor about anti-inflammatory meds, but with warnings about allergies and mixing with alcohol.
Right. The source also talks about SMART training. What does that involve?
It's really about reinforcing good habits for injury prevention. So again, progression, that gradual increase, the 10% rule.
Don't do too much too soon.
Exactly. And a proper warm-up is key. A few minutes of light cardio, some dynamic stretches, maybe calisthenics. Get the body ready.
And stretching generally.
Yep. Important for flexibility and reducing injury risk, especially in the cool down. Walk a bit, then stretch until your heart rate comes down and you stop sweating heavily.
What else for SMART training?
Mechanics. Focus on doing exercises correctly. Good form is way more important than lifting heavy with bad form. That's how you get hurt.
Form overweight. Got it.
And finally, a healthy diet. Fueling your body properly for energy and recovery, it's all connected.
Speaking of diet, they spend some time on nutrition using the food pyramid.
They do. They stress that fitness isn't just exercise. Good nutrition is vital for healthy weight, body fat, and just performing well.
And the pyramid is a guide for that.
Yeah, the USDA one from 2005. It's a visual tool for balancing food groups. They also mentioned the website mypyramid.gov for personalized stuff.
Can you quickly run through the pyramid sections? What are the recommendations?
Sure. Uses colored bands. Oranges, grains, aim for at least 3 ounces of whole grains daily. Look for whole on the label. Make half your grains whole.
Okay. Grains. Green.
Vegetables. Eat a variety. Dark green ones, orange ones, beans and peas, mix it up.
Red.
Fruits. Again, variety is good fresh, frozen, canned, dried, but watch out for added sugars in fruit juices.
Good tip. Yellow.
Oils and fats. Get most from fish, nuts, vegetable oils. Limit the solid fats like butter, lard. They specifically mention fish oils, omega-3s, being good for heart health.
Okay. Blue.
Milk and dairy. Go for low-fat or fat-free. There are alternatives if you're lactose intolerant, like lactose-free milk, hard cheese, yogurt.
And the last one, purple.
Meat, beans, eggs, the protein group. The advice is go lean on protein. Choose lean meats, poultry, bake, broil, grill, not fried. And vary it. More fish, beans, peas, nuts, seeds.
So lots of variety. Lean protein, whole grains, fruits, veggies, healthy fats. Pretty balanced approach.
Yeah, it provides a solid foundation for thinking about food choices.
Now, the source also touches on things to avoid for optimal health.
Right. It frames it as making responsible choices for yourself and setting a good example. First up is alcohol.
Okay.
Light drinking might be okay socially for some, but heavy or binge drinking. Bad news. Dehydration messes with performance, potential dependence.
And definitely not around workouts.
Definitely not. Avoid it before, during, or after. Hydration is key. Drink responsibly, follow the laws.
What about tobacco?
Just no. Cigarettes, cigars, smokeless tobacco, they're packed with cancer-causing stuff. Zero health benefits. That whole buzz thing, not worth the damage.
So avoid entirely if possible.
That's the strong recommendation, or at least limit it and absolutely avoid it in your exercise time because it jacks up heart rate and blood pressure.
And finally, controlled substances.
Yeah, this is serious. Only use prescribed meds under doctor supervision. Illegal stuff, banned performance enhancers like steroids, amphetamines, they're dangerous.
Serious side effects.
Absolutely. Dizziness, nausea, irritability, insomnia, even death.
Yeah.
And they actually hurt performance in the long run. They're forbidden for a reason. Stay away. They mentioned the Army's health website too, whoa4health.com, for more info.
Okay. This has been incredibly thorough. We've covered the why, the what, the how, safety, nutrition, pulled straight from these military guidelines. To wrap up, what's the big picture here for someone listening?
I think the main takeaway is that health and fitness are, well, foundational. They're not just about looking fit or running fast.
It's deeper than that.
Much deeper. It impacts your body composition, sure, but also your mental sharpness, your self-confidence. And it seriously lowers your risk for big health problems, high blood pressure, heart disease, even things like anxiety and depression.
So even though these principles come from a military context, they're really universal.
Totally. They apply to everyone. Doesn't matter what your specific goals are.
So with these insights, you listening now have hopefully a better understanding, a more informed way to approach your own physical well-being.
Exactly. You've got the core principles, the building blocks. You can use this knowledge to make smarter choices for yourself.
All right, so here's something to chew on as we finish up. Based on everything we've discussed, what's one small change, just one thing you could maybe implement starting today?
Could be about moving more, could be about recovery, maybe a simple food swap.
Think about it,
Yeah.
and maybe consider what part of your current routine could use its own little deep dive. Where could you apply these fundamentals for the biggest impact? Thanks for tuning in.